Well, good morning, Arkansas, and a very happy Saturday to everybody out there around the state. It is a generally dry day around the state as we start your weekend around the state. We do have a very few isolated showering storms, mainly over the southeast part of the state, and that's really going to be the story throughout much of the day. We're not going to see near as much coverage as we've seen over the past couple of days, but across parts of southeast Arkansas, I do expect to see a little bit better coverage of showers and storms. But to our west, high pressure is starting to build in, and that's going to mean a little bit lesser chance of rain than what we've seen really over the past couple of days. Of course, it is very warm around the state this morning. Everybody is in the 80s. We are already approaching 90 down in Camden, and of course, actually, we just hit 90 down in Camden. So a very warm start to our day around the state. 86 in Pine Bluff, 82 in Fort Smith, 81 in Fayetteville, 82 in Clinton, 81 in Jonesboro, and then of course 82 here in the capital city. So a very warm and muggy start to our day. Of course, heat indexes are already into the 90s across much of the state this morning. So what that means is really the inevitable is ahead. It's going to be a very hot and humid day across the state. Heat index values will approach the 100 to 110 mark. We do have heat advisories across parts of southeast and east central Arkansas for this afternoon. Those areas will be where we'll see those heat index values reach 105 to 110. Across the rest of the state, 100 to 105. And then, of course, isolated areas may make it up to 106 and 107 throughout the afternoon hours, and then of course those increase as we go throughout the weekend, and then especially into next week. As I mentioned, stray afternoon shower storm is still possible across the state. A little bit less coverage than what we saw or than what we've seen over the past several days. Again, of course, any outflow boundaries or anything like that from storms that do form will lead to isolated higher coverage, but overall we should see much less than what we've seen over the past several days. Now, as we head into the night, not much relief overnight. Warm and humid night ahead. Lows generally in the 70s. Would not be surprised to see an 80 here or there across the state, but most of us will be in the 70s overnight. As I mentioned, rain changes much less across the state. Down in southeast Arkansas, we will see a little bit higher coverage. Of course, that is further away from our high that is building in. But regardless of where you are at in the state, it's going to be hot and it's going to be humid. Highs in the mid to upper 90s across the state. Again, some areas may get to 98 or 99 this afternoon, but I don't expect too many of those yet. And then, of course, as we head into the overnight hours, we'll be once again into the 70s across the state. So the big story is going to be hot and humid. Be sure you take any precautions. Make sure any outdoor activities are done before the heat of the day. Be sure to check on your pets and keep those inside. Check on the elderly and those without AC. And always remember that heat is one of the leading causes of death this time of year across the state and really across much of the country. And of course, always make sure you check the back seat. There have already been a number of child deaths across the country already this summer. So again, we preach it every summer. It's going to be hot and humid, and this is just the start of what is to come over the week ahead. I will have much more on that this evening, right here on your source for all things Arkansas weather.